Concussion recovery and exercise. This has been a topic of great confusion. In prior years, the recommendations for post-concussion cocoon therapy, meaning no activity, dark room, everything silent, that began decades ago, yet it was actually never supported by any type of science. The most recent papers suggest that starting with aerobic exercise that does not cause any exacerbation, worsening of symptoms can be started safely and actually speeds recovery. So that's why it's part of the return to learn and return to play protocols. And here's some final commentary. I played youth football for years. What will they find in my brain? Well, you can see two books here, Brain Damaged and Brain Washed. So which is it? Here's a short historical timeline. Back in 1928, a doctor coined the term punch drunk. And in 2002, Dr. Bennett Amalu performed the famous autopsy on Mike Webster of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he coined the term chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. And then in 2017, another famous study found CTE in 110 of 111 NFL brains that were studied. So what did Dr. Martland find? Well, interesting. For some time, fight fans and promoters have recognized a peculiar condition occurring amongst prize fighters, which in ring parlance they speak of as punch drunk. Fighters in whom the early symptoms are well recognized and are said by the fans to be cuckoo, goofy, cutting paper dolls, or slug nutty. Many cases remain mild in nature and do not progress beyond this point. Nevertheless, the occurrence of the symptoms in almost 50% of fighters who develop this condition in the mild or severe form, if they keep at the game long enough, seems to be good evidence that some special brain injury due to their occupation exists. Remember, this is 1928. On a foggy, steel gray Saturday in September of 2002, Bennett Amalu arrived at the Allegheny County Coroner's Office and got his assignment for the day: perform an autopsy on the body of Mike Webster. The movie Concussions, starring Will Smith as Bennett Amalu, came out in 2015. So I played youth football for years. What will they find in my brain? Well, the left-hand column are research papers that say, you know what? Maybe not so bad. Maybe a single bout of concussion is not significant. Maybe it's not a risk factor for progression of disease in the brain. And the studies on the right say just the opposite. So which is it? What we like to say is doing this to the brain over and over and over again is probably not a very good idea.
13-year-old Zachary Lysted, star athlete, popular teen, excellent student. But in this game, his life and the future of football would change forever. Watch again as Zachary makes a tackle. He clutches his head but doesn't lose consciousness. His coach examines him and takes him out for 2 plays, and then there's halftime. But then he's put back in, playing offense and defense for the 3rd and 4th quarters. Surgeons had to remove 2 parts of Zach's skull to relieve the swelling. He was in a coma for over a month and couldn't speak for 9 months. For 20 months, he couldn't chew food. He had to learn how to walk again and speak. After months of intense therapy, he had a communication breakthrough.
Zach's injury was preventable. If Zach had just been taken out of the game and remained out, he'd be like any other kid at age now 20.
If you suspect a concussion, it's tell someone. Just because if someone would have done that for me, I wouldn't be here talking about this subject.
Have a plan. Not knowing is no longer an excuse. If in doubt, sit them out. Thank you.